On this week's episode of the B Team, I'm joined by content creator SHAKTV. We cover the West Tigers' worst decision I've ever seen, the top 5 worst refereeing decisions of all time, and will other YouTubers and TikTokers get in the boxing ring? I don't know. I guess we'll wait and see. I reckon I'll get taken. Welcome to another episode of the B Team, guys. I'm joined by SHAKTV. You may have seen him on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. Shaq, thank you for jumping on, mate.
Thanks for having me. Yeah.
No, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure being
Excited to be here.
Graced by a fellow creator. Dams is away this week. Adamo, he's enjoying himself in the islands of Fiji with his missus.
Very nice.
He's parked up with a few pina coladas, celebrating his anniversary. He's having a lovely time. He wanted to zoom in. I said, listen, mate, enjoy your break. You've been working hard. He's been doing quite a bit.
Deserve it.
Yeah, exactly. He deserves a break. He deserves a break. Now, what did you get up to over the weekend, Shaq? Do you watch a bit of footy? I know you're a Tigers fan, unfortunately. You poor bastard.
Yeah.
How'd you cope with that?
Cried myself to sleep. Yeah.
I'd imagine.
One of those days, you know. But other than that, yeah, just film some videos.
Yeah.
As you always do as a creator. Doesn't stop. And yeah, pretty much it. Just enjoyed my time.
Yeah, you're mainly getting that YouTube once a week upload out, aren't you? Yeah, you're not too much on TikTok anymore, as regular as you used to be. YouTube is where you're at. You got over 100,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Yeah, 130 just ticked over on the weekend.
Mate, congrats on that.
Yeah,
you got your plaque. You got your plaque.
I got my plaque. Yeah, I've always wanted that plaque, but yeah, just trying to go for that 1 million now. Just looks better.
That's
looks
the next
better.
goal. 1 mil.
Yeah, 1 million. But it's a long grind, and I think in Australia it's just very difficult to get there because we're all new to content here in Australia. So not as big as America or the UK.
100%.
So yeah, but
I feel like
a massive goal. Goal for me.
Brands are just like discovering how effective creators are.
Yeah,
and they're still kind of leaning on like legacy media people, ex-footy players to do a lot of branding and stuff like that. Where creators yourself, you produce your own stuff, you come up with your own ideas regularly. It's tough to do. It's tough to do like regularly on a consistent basis. So, mate, you're killing it. Keep it going.
Thank you.
The reason I brought up was the Tigers was I saw your Instagram story when they lost. You were smashing the bunker.
Yeah.
You were smashing. It was a terrible call. At the end of the day. It's been panned universally by everyone in rugby league. Cameron Smith came out and said it was a bad call. Brandy, while it was being, while he was commentating on TV, said that is a shocking call. Bunker's had an absolute shocker. Ref's bosses have come out and said, look, going up to the bunker, he had no issue with. The call was actually terrible.
Yeah.
It wasn't an escort. But I mean, what can you do about it? That brings us to our fan question, actually, from David A. He says, is it time to scrap the bunker and bring back the video ref? As in, let's leave the bunker out of all on-field decisions except for try-scoring decisions.
Yeah.
Like how it used to be. Ref would just go up, go to video ref, try, no try, make a decision, and leave it up to the ref. Because I think, like maybe David's leaning on, is that we're relying too much on technology.
Yeah, we are. I think so too. I think we need to go back to what it was because the bunker is useless. I think in some situations it's just so pointless to have it there. So, I mean, and on the weekend was a great example. So, I mean,
they've got it wrong.
And then they come out on Monday and say, "Oh, we apologize," but like you can't change the fact that what happened.
Yeah.
I mean, Tigers fans, we've copped it a lot. So, I mean, it would have been nice to get the win, but
well, I mean, it's like people come and say, "Well, what are they playing for?" You don't want that wooden spoon. It does count towards a wooden spoon, so that's why Tigers put in an official complaint.
We've never had one, so got to keep the streak going. Never had a wooden spoon.
I think they can't get rid of the bunker because they've invested too much money into it, and there's a lot of technology and that a lot of resource going into it. But I think it's in the game too much. I like the challenge system. It's like tennis, gives teams an opportunity to if there was a bad call, we've seen so many calls being overturned with a captain's challenge. So keep the challenges. It's just let refs ref.
Yeah.
Make the decisions, live with the decisions, like how they do in rugby, and only rely on technology when there's a try and refs are unsure if it's a try or not.
Yeah.
I think that's how it's got to be. It's got to go back to that. Leave the one ref. We've been going well with the one ref. Maybe let's just take it easy on all these 6 agains. I don't know. It's hard when you throw in too many rules and rules changes, but I guess that's where we're at. But no, Shaq, talk to me about. You're obviously a West Tigers fan. What's your association with rugby league? Grow up a rugby league fan?
No, because I was born not in Australia, so I didn't.
Where were you born?
Uzbekistan. Tashkent. Yeah, so I moved to Australia when I was 2 years old.
You don't get that a lot, Uzbekistan.
Nah, you don't. Not many
Jeez.
people know where that is on the map, unless you've seen like Borat. But
That's Kazakhstan. They're near each other.
But he disses Uzbekistan.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're the assholes. So, so I moved here when I was 2 years old. I was.
So you're an immigrant. You're a proper immigrant.
Yeah, proper immigrant.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, got the every immigrant is known to have that little
Okay,
dot there.
yeah.
So I moved here when I was 2 years old, and I think when I moved because I was moving around Bondi, Miranda, stuff like that, as immigrants do, and we finally settled in Piedmont, so that's like Balmain territory.
Great places to park up.
Yeah, and I loved it there. So I lived there for 16 years, 13 years, something like that.
So you go down to
I'd go down Balmain, the old leagues club.
Okay.
So watch the games there, and that's when I found out about the Tigers. Otherwise I didn't know what the hell NRL was.
Okay, yeah.
And then watch the.
Did you ever play?
No, I never played. I was a very skinny kid.
Because I'll tell you what, you got the height to play. I could see you flying on the wing. You're a great last tackle option.
I only grew when I was in year 12. I was
Okay.
very small. Yeah, I think everyone in my family was like, why is he not growing?
Okay, shit.
Yeah, because my whole family's tall.
What are you, 6'4" now?
6'1".
6'1".
So I'm not that tall, but when I was
you're tall. I'm pushing 5'8" on a good day, man. To me, my neck hurts looking at you now.
Oh shit.
No. I'm saying no. I would have taken you as a good last tackle option. A good winger.
No. I wish I played, but I think my parents, being sort of Soviet parents, we were very academic. So academic was number one. Sport was not number one.
So you
for
got
us.
a decent ATAR then?
No.
Okay.
I wasn't academic. I was more of a creative. I hated school. I hated studying. So like that. Yeah, but I like my sport. I played a lot of tennis.
Okay.
Played basketball. And now I just play Oztag. So. Yeah.
Okay, well that's a bit of former rugby league.
Yeah.
Well, rugby league count Oztag as their juniors because they're losing their junior base in the NRL, so they got to get the numbers up. So they lean on Oztag a bit. But that's funny because I would have taken you as you're a league supporter. We see on your socials and stuff like that. But where do you see the Tigers, being a Tigers fan, going from here? They've just got Tim Sheens on board.
Benji Marshall.
They're going back to the 05 boys. Benji. They got Robbie Farah come in. Aaron Woods has signed a 1-year deal for next year. I read some report. This is the stupidest thing I've ever read. Benji Marshall has approached James Tedesco to see if he wants to return to the Tigers. Now, if I'm James Tedesco, I wouldn't even pick up the phone. He's living the lavish life in Bondi.
Maybe he's tired of winning.
At a great culture. Exactly. Why would you want to leave Bondi and the Roosters, a great culture, to try and rebuild at the Tigers? I thought it was a stupid report.
I mean,
where do you think they're going?
I think it's for the next 5 years. I think I have good confidence in the Tigers. I mean, they're not a bad team right now. I think it mostly comes down to any success. It doesn't matter if it's like sport or anything. It comes down to attitude and discipline rather than talent. So if you can push yourself mentally and stay composed and focused towards the goal and play as a team, you can win.
Coaches are big on that.
And
like
coaches are
mentality
defensive mentality. But mentally you have to be strong rather than have talent. How many people have talent and then they just wasted it doing dumb stuff? How many athletes? You can go down the list. You can go down the list where it just be like, wow, okay. But then you have like people who are not very talented, small, and all that persona about those people, and then their discipline was just far greater than their talent, and they just succeeded. And it's all about longevity as well. So talent can only get you far, but if you're mentally strong, you can get there.
And you take that into your content, don't you? Like, as in, like,
yeah.
How did you start getting into the content game? I mean, it's daunting when you first start.
It is.
You got to put yourself out there. You got to create consistently. How did you kick off your social media, career almost?
I kicked it off. I've been trying I created my first YouTube channel in 2007, and early days. Yeah, I never continued it because growing up as a kid, very shy, didn't have confidence. That fear of people judging and stuff like that, as we all go through as when we start off. But 2007 created the first YouTube channel. I think I did like a couple of like in-home stunts with my mate and uploaded them, and then that's it. And that's it. But as
going through tables and ladders and stuff.
we were like 10 years old, so I was just like jumping over like couches. So.
Okay, a bit of
Yeah,
parkour.
a bit of parkour. Early days of
Okay,
parkour.
yeah,
Didn't know
yeah,
what parkour was. And then, but my love for like filming and everything came through parkour. Because, I bought my first camera, started
I've seen
filming.
it feature in a couple of videos.
Yeah, documenting my like sort of like training sessions and with like the community and stuff, and going overseas, recording there, having the GoPro, and then, buying finally a DSLR and recording on that. So kind of that's where I got my like cinematography, editing skills. So everything's self-taught. Everything I've done is self-taught. So
Yeah, I say this all the time. If I had my time again, I wouldn't go to university. Now,
yeah,
kids, don't listen to me, okay, because I'm not wise, but my university experience was a waste of time. I did accounting and marketing. In one ear, out the other. I learned everything I learned in marketing on the job.
Yeah.
And everything production-wise, editing, framing, shooting, video. I mean, I shoot everything on a phone. I'm not as competent as you, but, mate, biggest way. I said self-taught. It's all self-taught.
Yeah.
YouTube. You could learn everything on YouTube. Everything and anything is on YouTube.
It's a very powerful tool. So everything is self-taught, and basically when I was just filming and stuff like that, you find on social media, you make an Instagram account and then everything just pops up. Vine started to pop up.
Yeah.
So then I tried Vine, didn't really, make it on Vine. Started streaming on Twitch, then just made like a couple of videos for Instagram. And then finally, like TikTok, fast forward.
Is TikTok where you saw the most growth?
I was like, people will say, I went on TikTok just as a joke. I knew what I wanted to do on TikTok.
Yeah.
I wanted to grow my platform so I can get onto YouTube. Like, that's exactly what I wanted to do. And
What
that's
was your
exactly what I
YouTube
did.
following when you jumped on TikTok?
0.
Seriously?
Yeah, didn't make a channel. So
Wow.
I jumped on TikTok. I saw like the whole growth, and I was like, within like 1 year or like half a year, like 50,000, then 100,000.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, now it's time to make that YouTube channel and try and channel all that audience onto YouTube.
And you've done that pretty well.
Yeah, and I did that pretty well, and I was surprised, and I was like, okay, first video to release, quite nervous, and it was an SHA one.
And now, how many videos have you released now?
106.
Yeah, shit.
So
That's a grind.
yeah.
And yeah, mostly
still
weekly,
going.
hey?
Yeah, once a week, but I'm trying to now push out twice a week just to push myself and just get the brain moving, because as a creator, you want to be as original as you can, but obviously, you get stuff from other people, inspiration, and just there's nothing wrong with that. Just put in your own twist.
Yeah, we've collabed a few times on TikTok.
Yeah, and collabing as well, so I want to
Yeah.
get more into that. But yeah, basically everything else has just been me and just trying to get by,
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah.
Time out. No, I feel like I was the exact same. I mean, I jumped on TikTok. I had some videos on Instagram do okay, and that was a new platform, so I jumped on, wanted to see what I can make of it, try and pursuing that media, and I had a bit of a marketing background, that type of build a bit of a following and profile, and it's the place to do it. And you can still jump on now and do it.
You
like
can,
it's never
yeah.
it's never too late.
It's never too late to do anything, to be honest. I mean, there are things that are oversaturated, but there's always new opportunities everywhere. So
And for those that don't know, for the folks at home, SHAKTV, it does a lot of character work. It's probably, I'd say, above what a TikToker is. We wouldn't call you a TikToker because you're prominently like now making YouTube videos pretty regularly.
yeah.
The Super Wogs of the world don't put out videos as regularly as much, and he's getting a Netflix show. You're kind of putting that grind of a YouTube video a week. What are your favourite characters that you pull off? Because my personal favourites, obviously, you got your junkie character, you got your Moe Don't Worry character.
Yeah.
You did one recently. I pissed myself laughing. Was the charitable person that approaches you on the street as a charity worker that you can't get rid of. What are your favourite characters to play? And what work goes into playing them?
Favorite characters? Well, I do like playing the Eshe, but I don't milk him as much. He's just fun to play around with. He's just kind of like that. He's typical Eshe, just to kind of.
I love how you put him in different situations.
Yeah.
Eshe in a job interview.
You can put him in any situation. I think there's no like. I guess the sky's the limit in terms of just we're all creators. You just have to just be creative with your characters and stuff. But yeah, I do like playing the Eshe. The junkie, it hurts my throat sometimes, but like because of the voice.
Yeah, you got to put the emphysema on.
Yeah. The voice is just the day after. It's just sometimes shocking. But so I kind of don't milk him as much. But I have other characters that I haven't been like that I haven't showcased that much. So Russian like mafia, I do like playing
I
that.
like that one.
just because I speak fluent Russian as well, that helps.
You pull the accent off pretty well.
Yeah, then there's like typical like bikey stuff. I kind of just like look at a lot of movies and be like, I could probably like do that sort of persona, bikey dude. You know, I want to do like more of British type people.
What
as
about
well.
just stay native and do a Uzbekistani Borat character?
I could push out the Uzbek content.
Yeah.
Get
that Uzbek audience.
So people, get that Uzbek audience.
Yeah, no.
Probably the most famous person there.
100% you would. 100% next to Borat.
Yeah, so maybe. I'll probably go over there, see the family sometime.
Yeah, definitely due. But, mate, we had Jacob Carraz on last week, and, the podcast actually did pretty well. We're climbing into the top 10 on Rugby League podcasts.
Congratulations,
It was really, really fun. Carraz is a great kid, young up-and-comer at Canterbury. He's going to be a permanent fixture there. But getting into Rugby League, there's been actually quite a few things that have popped up this week. The news cycle never stops in Rugby League. So we have a segment called the HIA where we just discuss what's happening around the grounds. The massive one that's probably overshadowed the Tigers referee blunder is the Manly Seagulls. So they've come out this week. It's women in league round, and they thought they wanted to go the extra step further and showcase their pride jerseys. 7 players came out and said they don't want to wear the jerseys. They were never consulted about wearing the jerseys. Des Hasler supported the players, the coach. He said he fully supports their decision. They weren't consulted. It was poor management on behalf of the club. So Josh Alloway, Jason Saab, Christian Tupolotto, Josh Schuster, Hamoli Olakawatu, Kohler, and Sipley. So they were the players reportedly opposed to it. Apparently there were a few more possible debutants that were going to take their spot that also didn't want to wear it. It's definitely a grey area. It's divided the rugby league community a bit, but I don't know. I think where it's tough is Manly really had to choose between if they wanted to make the finals or enforce have the players miss out on the game.
They got a big game, yeah.
A lot of ramifications because they're both 8 and 9th.
Yeah.
Winner of this game is probably going to make the top 8.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Des has come out and says he respects the cultures of the players and agrees with their decision, but I think the ramifications for the round is just massive, and it opens up a lot of discussion. Like Peter V'landys is saying that he might want to do a pride round next year. Could you see other clubs doing the same thing? I mean, even Paul Gallen came out this week and said, I didn't think it was necessary that they needed to go that extra step. It's women in league round. It's an important round itself.
Very bad timing. Yeah.
It's just poor timing. But how do you feel it is in rugby league standard? Do players need to keep, do they need to wear the jerseys? Or I think the last precedent for this was Sonny Bill Williams. He said religiously, it was his religious belief, he didn't want to have a Unibet sponsor on his.
I think Payne Haas as well wanted the booze logo.
Off his thing.
I think it was
they made arrangements. So maybe they could have made arrangements for these players to be a full strength team. They've just named their side today. Yeah. It's Tuesday. And it features a lot of new players. James Seguiaro's back. So I don't think they're going to be full strength. Probably going to mean a Roosters win. Do you think it's just poor timing for the
It's very bad
Seagulls?
timing. Yeah. I mean, the Seagulls have had a tough season. No Trbojevic, and they've had gritty wins and tough losses. So I mean, did they really want to do that and cost them the finals? I mean, wasn't Trbojevic meant to be back for the finals? I don't know.
He said he would have been back for late finals run. So that's probably not going to happen now. Yeah, which is probably better for him. He needs to rest. He needs all the rest he can.
Yeah.
But it's unfortunate because you don't want rugby league to be shrouded in controversy with politics and stuff like that.
You got to keep that out of the game and just let the players play, I guess. And I don't know. It's a tough one. It
opens up conversation, but I guess we'll see where that ends up. I know the players aren't going to be playing this week, but I don't know. And further to that, another player controversy. This isn't a controversial episode, but Kevin Proctor has come out and he's been sacked immediately from the Gold Coast side. He's on his way out anyway. I don't think he particularly cares. Yeah. But this was for vaping in the team sheds at halftime in Gold Coast colours. Now, vaping's everywhere, Shaq. You've seen everyone.
It is, yeah.
Every, mate and his dog's got a vape out on a night out. He's a player. Probably shouldn't be doing it in his team colours.
Yeah, shouldn't, because he's a role model. You know, technically a footy
Is
player.
vaping illegal? Is it illegal?
I don't know. I don't do it, so I don't know the
I'm not
rules,
much
you
of
know?
a vapor
So
either.
I think
I'm not an nargileh smoker either. But
neither. No.
I don't see. So if he were to do it, if he was not in club colours, would
If
he
it was
still
in a
be sacked?
yeah, if it was in a club doing it, I mean, it's, you know,
That's fine.
I think that's fine. Yeah,
I'm
but
sure
I
he's
think,
not the only player that vapes.
but I think, was it half time?
It was
I know he
half-time.
wasn't playing.
It was half time
but
and he was in the sheds.
again, you're in the sheds. You have your team colours on. You're still a role model.
Mm.
You know, were they down? I don't know if they were down. So you're kind
were
of a very experienced. You know, you're an experienced player on the team. I think.
I reckon Kevin
But-
Proctor wouldn't have done that at Melbourne. There's
Nah,
no way
nah,
he's
no
vaping
way.
in the sheds at
Nah,
Melbourne.
nah.
They
That's just
wouldn't
a
allow
Gold
that.
Coast,
It is. It's a Gold Coast
That's a
lifestyle
Gold
thing.
Coast thing, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, but
But I mean, I don't know. I think
he had one foot out the door. He was on his way out. I think
Yeah, I don't think
his Gold Coast run, like many who have left Melbourne, didn't really live up to expectation for,
Yeah.
being a quality second rower, New Zealand second rower.
Yeah.
Probably hasn't performed as well as he'd like to for the Gold Coast, but he'll probably head off to England. Big UFC fan, Shaq?
Starting to watch it a bit more now. Yeah.
Tuning in more.
Yeah,
It's
tuning in
become more. There's
yeah.
a lot more casual viewers nowadays.
Yeah.
I'd class myself as a casual viewer, getting into it more and more.
Mm-hmm.
Past your Conor McGregor's. They're putting on events almost every week
Yeah.
now. There's a UFC event. Highlight was Paddy the Baddie and Molly Meatball both getting wins. I don't know if you've seen them. They're bloody
I saw
everywhere
Paddy.
on TikTok.
I saw his little speech as well, which was
the
very
mental
good.
health speech. I thought that was awesome.
I think that was great for the sport and worldwide, because us men, we think we're tough as nails, but inside, we're
No, it was
not,
a good
so
speech for awareness. But
we'll
I just
all
think
go through it, so.
I think these two together, these Scousers, they've got the funniest accents.
Yeah,
Okay.
I love it.
They're
yeah.
pure entertainment. Every YouTube video they're in, whether they're doing something with MMA Junkie or UFC pressers at the weigh-ins, their chat is hilarious. I don't know. It's their inflection, the way they talk. I don't know. They're two characters. I think they're the best entertainers the UFC has at the moment.
Yeah.
In a UFC without a lot of characters like McGregor's that they don't lean on anymore. Without you got new fighters like Hamzat and Colby Covington's one. I'd say entertaining fighter that divides opinion. But I don't know. I enjoy watching these guys. I reckon they do complain about fighter pay and not getting paid their fair share, but they're getting a lot of endorsements outside. Dave Portnoy from Barstool's been riding them. I think that's the way to go. If you're entertaining enough, you can probably make money outside of fighting.
100%.
It's
100%.
like probably like with us in content, especially with TikTok, you're not getting paid all that much.
Nah.
But it's like,
Especially in Australia, yeah.
especially in Australia. It's not like overseas where there's a creator fund and stuff like that. But there's opportunity coming from brands or like people that reach out. They want to get you in campaigns or like stuff like that. So I reckon these two are bloody hilarious. They got to keep doing what they're doing. And UFC, if they're not if they're not using them correctly and not paying them the right amount, they could. Not that they'll go elsewhere because there's not a lot of fighter.
Yeah, I think UFC is the biggest one. That's
Exactly
where
right.
That's where you want to be as a fighter and entertainer. So it's a big stage. So,
But both of them won their fights convincingly. Paddy by submission, Molly by a TKO, gruesome elbow. It was good to see. But they campaigned to Champagne Papi, Drake. He put a large wager on them. I don't know if you see, he's become a big junkie gambler.
Yeah, I saw that
Champagne
stake.
Papi.
Yes.
So he put quite a lot of money on them, won a couple mil, and they appealed to him and said, "Can we get a rollie? Can we get a rollie?" As in a nice Rolex.
Yeah.
He tweeted out, Champagne Puppy, Rolex to Paddy the Baddie and Molly Meatball. So, mate, whatever they're doing it right, and they're bloody good to watch.
They're getting rollies from Drake, yeah.
Exactly right. Now, in our world of content creators and people on Instagram, social media influencers, Jordan Simi jumped in the boxing ring last week.
Yeah.
Jordan Simi of YKTR.
I like Simi, yeah.
I think he's funny. He's a character. Paints his nails. I don't know. I just wanted to point that out. It's funny to see. It's different, and he's I think he's a bit of a character. I like watching some of his stuff. Has that podcast, Grouse and a Few Reds. He jumped in the ring with
Hodges.
Justin Hodges.
Yeah.
Good watch. I think it was like a 4-round fight. Does this open up maybe No Limit looking at and other boxing promoters looking at, TikTokers, Instagrammers, influencers to start jumping in the ring? Because Jake Paul has, started this trend. Logan Paul, this phase of
KSI.
People,
Yeah.
let's settle things in the ring, which I
Yeah.
quite like. It's like the old-fashioned duel.
Yeah.
Do you see more and more people on social media getting in the boxing ring, whether it's people on maths, people on Instagram, TikTokers? What do you reckon?
Yeah, we could go down that road, but I don't know, we're a bit late. I mean, America was doing it for the past, UK was doing it for the past,
They just had a big
5 years.
recent TikTok boxing event.
Yeah. So, if the time to get in, it's probably now. Otherwise, you'll miss the ship. Because otherwise, it just gets again oversaturated, and people will be like, "Okay, just who cares about these?" You know?
Yeah, that's
kind
very
of-
true. I thought Simi did well.
I think it did well. Yeah,
like he was
short. What was it like?
a short tournament. He had
Short
maybe like
tournament,
3
yeah.
weeks notice. But I mean, like his boxing looked decent enough for the amount of training he's put in.
Yeah,
He's trying to keep him at bay with the jab. Hodges was probably just coming forward a bit too
Yeah.
much from him, but
And I think again, it wouldn't be for fighting. I think it's more of like entertaining if it was like content creators. But
yeah.
I guess for me,
I think he was just happy to be there.
Yeah,
he
I
was
think-
just happy
yeah,
to be there.
Yeah. So,
And I think he won his missus back to who he was fighting for. Geez, she's a beautiful sort.
yeah.
Sammy Robinson.
Mm.
But good on him. He's leading the way, Jordan Simi, because I think there's a few TikTok creators jumping in the ring. I don't know if you've seen on TikTok. Castro's jumping in the ring. Yisra's grabbed a couple of boxing gloves recently. She's been hitting
I
the pads.
saw that. Yeah, I saw that.
Mate, I feel sorry for the woman that has to get in the ring with her. But I think it opens up the door for a lot of creators to start jumping in the ring. I don't know about you. I've been training myself. Keep an eye out for a creator's boxing card, I reckon, in the near future. If it's a time to do it,
I'll
it's a
jump.
time now.
I'll jump in the ring.
Would you jump in?
Yeah, I'll
You
jump
trained a
in.
bit of boxing, haven't you?
I've trained boxing,
Yeah?
yeah. I've trained boxing. I do mostly my training right now is calisthenics. I do all
Okay.
street workout stuff. So, but
Our
I
mate Neil Kolhatka's a bit of a boxer as well.
yeah,
He's done
he
some
is.
stuff with KO
Yeah,
here
yeah.
and there.
He's got fast hands. Yeah.
But
But
I guess we'll
I
see.
mean, yeah, whatever. If you want me in boxing, I'll be ready.
If the money's right for Shaq.
If the money's right,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm not getting in the ring to get my head kicked in for free. So,
Yeah. I don't know if you've seen Jack Harlow,
mm
popular worldwide rapper, hip hop artist. He's touring Australia right now. He was just at Splendor in the Mud recently.
got a lot of
Which was,
splendor in the mud.
I don't think I could think of anything worse to be at than that
Nah.
Splendor thing.
As if you
Tents
got
in
what was it, like
all
12
different
hours?
types of mud.
Yeah, traffic,
Oh.
and then in the mud.
I couldn't think of anything worse. And people had to tent there and stay there.
Yeah.
I mean, we're kind of ethnics.
Mm.
I need to be in some form of tiled
Yes.
house.
Yeah.
And maybe
Tile house with some tea,
mm,
and
get
that's
an
good.
Uber to the event possibly.
Yep.
Maybe
yep,
an Uber
yep.
XL
Mm-hmm.
space.
Yep.
I don't know. I couldn't think of anything else. But he's been out and about in Australia, and he put up an Instagram story that he's been hooked on AFL. He's been watching the game, and he's loving the umpires' attire.
Mm.
Different umpires' attire. Obviously, they wear the yellow, and he's put up a couple of stories of just the old-fashioned white coat with a sun hat
Yeah.
attire. I enjoy seeing Americans, particularly, and probably American celebrities getting around Australian sports. Pat McAfee was the last guy to really get into the AFL when we were in lockdown, when America was in lockdown ages ago. He jumped on the Mason Cox bandwagon, called him Coxzilla at Collingwood. I think it's fun, and it opens up to
It opens up the sport. Yeah.
to getting a US audience. He's
Yeah.
gotten a kick out of AFL. He was just with the Penrith Panthers boys. I don't know. Do you remember a celebrity that jumped on the sport as hard as others? I mean,
I don't know. Well,
there's a couple of wrestlers that have they do the tour out here and they get on like a rugby league and
yeah.
stuff
There's a lot that have been like part of like the Rabbitohs, tour that they
'Cause
get
with
their
Russell
jersey.
Crowe.
Yeah, with Russell Crowe,
Yeah.
because he's got the connections. So, but I think when it was lockdown, I think NRL was the only sport that was kind of running, and I think that would have been the best opportunity for the US and everyone to kind of be like, oh, NRL's the only sport. Let's just watch that.
Yeah.
So, but I'd like to see more of like US getting into not just the sport in Australia, but culture, because we're
Yeah.
only known for like shrimp on the barbie. Like that's not even like what we do.
Yeah,
So like
not at all.
yeah, but
And
I like
Thor, really. That's
yeah, and Thor, but that's it. Not many people know our actual true culture. So what we have, our subcultures here. So
I reckon a couple of us need to go over there,
yeah,
put us on the map.
yeah, I'd like to do that.
A couple
yeah.
of fitness creators just went over to the US,
Mhm.
Mendoza, Anabolic Gauge and stuff, and they did like a full. Then to LA, trained the zoo culture.
Yeah.
They went to Houston, trained at Alpha Lab Gym, like
Mhm.
Alpha Land. Sorry, like it's. I wouldn't mind doing a 6 months over there, create content over there, and
Yeah.
try and like
Bring
get the Aussies going.
Bring our
because-
culture over there.
I
Bring
mean,
the
you've
SHA
seen
culture,
on
Lebos,
Impulsive
yeah.
and KSI and all that. They're all kind of collaborating over there. They need a taste of
Australian creators. Yeah, we're kind of because everyone that's here kind of just keeps to themselves, and that includes me. So, but I want to try and just collab with a lot of people and expand the Australian content scene and our culture. So otherwise, the people that make it here, they just fly all the way to America and just forget about Australia sometimes. But
very strange one. What about this one? This is very left field. Producer Shabs has thrown this in there. I thought it was bloody hilarious. Okay, there's a new study out of England, obviously, where they've surveyed 1,732 adults in Great Britain. And the question was, do you think you could win a point against 23-time Grand Slam champion Serena Williams? And surprisingly, 12% of men, that's 1 in 8 men, said yes, they could win a point against Serena Williams. Now, she's a Grand Slam champion. Do you think, I don't want to put you on the spot here, Shabs, but do you think you could win a point against Serena Williams?
Well, it depends if it's the prime or right now.
So prime Serena or
prime Serena.
Okay, say it's Serena now because she's still playing. She's still going hard for Grand Slams.
I can get a point. I'm pretty decent at tennis. I'm pretty decent.
Yeah, you did say you had a tennis background.
If I'm serving, I could. If she's serving, I don't think so. Unless she hits the net twice, but yeah.
Because I know John McEnroe came out and said, that he's got kids in his academy that could probably beat Serena, which I know he copped a lot of backlash for. But I think 1 point. 1 point. I think I
can do 1 point
in a 3-set match. Yeah. It's a women's match. I think I could. It wouldn't be me winning the point; it'd be her losing the point. Like she'd have to hit it out, or get a double fault or something. You know what I mean? I get maybe a lucky shot. I'm not the best tennis player, but I'm somewhat coordinated.
Yeah.
I think I'd give it a crack. Mm-hmm. She'd wipe the floor with me, but I could get 1 point. I agree with that. Maybe 1 in 8's a bit much. It should be like 1 in 20 or something. But I guess, mate, men back themselves.
You gotta back yourself.
Back yourself to the hill.
Yeah.
But no, what we usually do on this show, Shaq, is we play a couple of games of Would You Rather. Now, you being a creator, social media megastar, some would say, over 130,000 followers on YouTube, I want to play a game of Would You Rather. Now, first one, off the bat, is would you rather give up your social media accounts to win an NRL Grand Final?
Nah. I wouldn't.
Nah. Doesn't mean that much to you, an NRL Grand Final.
Nah. As a player or as like a fan supporter?
No. You're a player.
I'm a player.
You're a player. Shaq is in his prime winger playing for the West Tigers, and you're playing in the grand final. You win the grand final for your club.
Love to see that again, but
yeah. Would you give up your social media? You've put a lot of hard work into your social media accounts.
Yeah,
you built it from the ground up. Would you give that all up to win an NRL grand final?
I do love rugby league, but I do what I love now, so that's content creating. I wouldn't give that up.
You wouldn't give it up?
Nah, no way.
I think it was a childhood dream of mine to win an NRL grand final and get the tattoo with the players, put it somewhere, get the club logo on you. I would personally.
It'd be a good feeling, but I never really grew up to be like, I want to be an NRL player. I just watched the game. It's like as a fan, I've been like, I don't know. I just like following something. I just have a lot of passion towards something. I do have competitiveness, and but I mean, as an NRL, probably nah.
Well, me playing a lot of junior footy, I probably would throw it all away for a grand final.
Of course.
I would. I don't know. My old man played rugby league. It was kind of instilled in us, but I could see you've worked your ass off to build the accounts. But me personally, I think I would do it. Yeah. I think I would do it. Now, what about this one? Have the New South Wales Blues go on a 10-year winning streak, or the Tigers win 3 premierships in a row?
Tigers, 3 premierships in a row.
Yeah. You're more of a club fan than New South Wales.
Yeah, New South Wales, man.
Because you got to think about it. That all these reporters and Fox Sports came out and said, Origin just means more to Queenslanders.
Yeah.
And they were saying that from the players' perspective. I don't know. We can't really speak for players because you had former players like Willie Mason come out and say that's bullshit. These guys don't know shit.
Yeah.
But I was in Brisbane for Game 3. Those fans are nuts. They're nutcases. They love Queensland. They'll die for Queensland. I don't think the New South Wales supporters are that diehard.
Yeah, they're not.
Their state as Queensland are. I think that's a fair thing to say.
Yeah.
In this day and age, but I'd rather the Bulldogs go 3 in a row than see New South Wales win 10 in a row.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'd rather, I'd love to see the West Tigers.
I think people are more drawn to their clubs than they are the state.
Yeah. mean, you play 3 games of State of Origin while you play 25, and then plus, your finals footy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I haven't seen finals footy in 11 years, so
It is rough being a Tigers fan. Seriously, if there was a relegation, they'd be the first team up for relegation.
yeah, I know. Oh, actually, we were sitting
They've been
ninth for a
so
couple of years.
disappointing. Yeah, it's just like no final. I don't think even a semi-finals run since 2011.
Yeah, I was at that. The last time they were in the
was it a Warriors game?
It was Warriors game at SFS, the old Sydney Football Stadium, and they lost at the dying moments as well in Tigers fashion. So, and that's when Benji Marshall was the best player in the world at the time. We had such a great team. Tim Sheens was still the coach, and they lost against the Warriors. And I think the Warriors made that final that year. So I think that if they beat the Warriors, I think they would have won it all. The Tigers, they were in such great form. So
yeah, Benji was still there,
and I think that's when they changed the rules because the Tigers won week 1. They didn't get a week off. They had to go play against the Warriors,
and they changed the format.
And then they changed the
format. Get a second shot.
Thanks NRL.
Yeah, nothing works in the Tigers' favor at the moment.
Oh man,
just look at last week.
We're very passionate fans, so yeah.
Well, bringing up terrible reffing decisions and terrible rule changes. This is the top 5 worst referee decisions of all time. Number 5, we've got GI's knock on the 2012 State of Origin. This one was massive because it was a dying moment to State of Origin game run. The ball ricochets off Robbie Farah's boot. Looks like a clear knock on from Greg Inglis. They go on to win the game and then win the series. Referee's boss come out and say, yes, they got the decision wrong. That was another loss to New South Wales in a time that Queensland went on a dynasty. Who knows what could have happened, but that's number 5. Number 4.
I think it was Nathan Kalis. Wrongly sin binned, mistaken identity.
Yes, I think it was Daniel Mortimer.
Yeah, stripping, I think.
Yeah, he stripped the ball. Nathan Kalis went and sat down for 10.
I don't know how you mistaken identity, but yeah.
That's
I don't know anyone that looks like Nathan Kalis.
Okay, number 3, we've got Braithen Astor being penalised for getting punched in the face. He was dog-shotted by David Fayalogo in the ruck.
Oh, you're kidding.
And then he blows up at the ref for getting for the penalty going against him. He's telling the ref, you're off your head.
Yeah.
Terrible call. And obviously that's why it gets number 3. Number 2, what do we got?
We got Cowboys Manly semi.
Mm-hmm.
Kieran Foran, and I think it was Jonathan Thurston as well. Dying moments of the game.
Yes.
Knock on. That wasn't called.
That was massive.
Yeah.
Because I don't think the Cowboys were up at that time, but the game was in the balance. It was in the 60th minute or something like that. Ball goes forward. Kieran Foran came out after the game, said he never touched it.
Well,
video footage clearly shows him touching it. Referees again coming out and saying he got it wrong. I think that was another Ben Cummins decision. He features in this list a fair bit. Poor Ben Cummins.
Classic Ben.
Number 1, this is the Raiders-Roosters grand final. Ben Cummins, we've seen this, calls 6 again and then calls last tackle when Jack Whiten gets caught with the ball.
Shocking.
He went down thinking he had another fresh set after a kick went everywhere. He jumped on the ball. Just a terrible decision. Dying moments of a grand final.
Yeah.
Game was still in the balance. And referees, again, come out and said, yes, they got the call wrong. To get it wrong in a grand final, I mean, that's why it's number 1. It's the biggest stage in rugby league. Clubs work all year to get to the grand final, and they get cost with one bad decision by a referee. That was very rough for Canberra, and that's why that's number 1. So let's recap the top 5. We had Greg Inglis knock on in State of Origin. Nathan Kalis mistaken identity. Braithen Astor being penalised for being dog-shotted. Cowboys versus the Manly Sea Eagles.
Kieran Foran
semi-final. Kieran Foran knock on. And the Canberra Raiders versus the Roosters grand final. We've had some shockers over the years.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem like it's getting any better.
No.
Okay, so...
I mean, as we saw on the weekend, come on.
Yeah, no, the referees need to start pulling their fingers out. Maybe we've got to get rid of the technology. Maybe it's a bit too much.
Know.
But, mate, that brings us to our long shot for the week. Shaq, I'll start with my long shot. Couple of big games. Like we said, Manly versus Roosters is a big game. That's who's going to make the 8 this year for 8th. But my long shot this week, I'm going to go with the Bulldogs going back-to-back for a second time this year against Newcastle. They're playing good footy. They carved up the Titans. They look like they're just playing good attacking footy. Everyone's they're offloading. They're playing like the old Bulldogs. Entertainers, not scared to throw the ball around. So I'm going to go Bulldogs to win, and I'm going to go an upset that no one's going to go with. Parramatta to beat the Penrith Panthers this week. Luai is out. Parramatta need to bounce back going into the finals. There's 5-6 rounds left. They need to get on the front foot, save their season, make a run in the finals. We're going to go Parramatta to beat the Penrith Panthers and Bulldogs to beat the Knights this week. What do you reckon your long shot's going to be?
I like Dragons over the Cowboys. I think Cowboys didn't play a good game at home against the Tigers, which they should have lost, but won't go into that again. But yeah, I think Dragons. Ben Hunt is in great form. I think he's Dally M, clear winner. I reckon he'll get it. Yeah,
he's Dragons.
He's a
best.
gun. Yeah, he's a gun. So I think Dragons over the Cowboys, and I don't know. I still think Penrith are going to beat Parramatta Pretenders. So yeah, I just don't like Parramatta. Yeah.
Well, I think it was Phil Gould that came out, or possibly Matty Johns, and said the only team that can beat Penrith Panthers in the grand final this year is the Penrith Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
They can only lose it from here. Yep. They just look too good. They're head and shoulders above everyone. Like Melbourne are struggling.
Yeah, they are struggling.
Have been.
Even Craig Bellamy knows it's like, oh.
He said, I don't know if their season's saving. They've had a crack at trying to sign Dane Laurie. They've been trying to get the Fox over, trying to get Reece Walsh from the Warriors. They need someone to fill in that fullback position because the outside backs are letting them down. They're making so many errors. It's hard to watch Melbourne like this because you're just so used to them being a well-oiled machine. And, to see them lose that many games in a row, it's unlike them. I think they finally probably break the drought this week.
Yeah, I think they will. I think they'll get a good run home and they'll settle things down. But I think in terms of finals footy, I think,
I don't see him beating Penrith.
I don't see him beating Penrith. Yeah, I don't see anyone beating Penrith. Yeah. I thought maybe, I don't know. Nah, Broncos, nah. Cowboys, nah. Who else is it? Nah, I don't.
Has there been a team shorter than $2 Penrith to win the grand final? That's what they're paying right now. You get even money on Penrith. Second favourite being the Cowboys to win the grand final right now. So, I don't know. Yeah, Melbourne have fallen out of favour. I think they're fourth favourites to win the grand final, which is because Brisbane are starting to play some good footy. Brisbane are looking good. Souths are making a run. It's up in the air right now, but like I said, Penrith Panthers team to beat for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But that brings us to a wrap today on the B Team. Thank you for tuning in. Shaq, thank you for joining us. Where can we find you on socials? SHAKTV?
Yeah, just SHAKTV on YouTube. Search it up. And SHAK.TV, Instagram and TikTok. And that's about it.
Yeah, mate. Thank you for jumping on. I feel sorry for you.
Thanks for having me.
Being a Tigers
it's
supporter.
All right.
Hey, it will turn around. It's starting to look good.
It will.
Sheensy at the helm.
Yeah.
That's all from us today. Tune in on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts, and YouTube. And also tune in this week. We're going double back-to-back episodes this week. We've got Alex Twal, West Tigers player, Lebanon Cedar coming on the show this week. Should be a great episode. Keen to get him on. But thank you for tuning in. Until next time.